This is 7 News, the voice of the Central West.
Tonight, Dubbo RFS personnel called in to help fight bushfires in the state's northwest.
Bathurst to host the largest rugby league knockout in the Southern Hemisphere.
I'm Daniel Gibson. Later on this news hour, you'll see the damning hit-run video as tensions boil over the Israel-Hamas war. And Qantas found guilty of standing down a worker at the start of COVID.
7 News begins now.
Good evening. A full-scale emergency response is being thrown at a major bushfire northwest of Walgett.
There are reports tonight that multiple structures have been lost. Today, crews once again battled the fire, which is being fanned by winds and high temperatures.
It's not looking good.
Not looking good at all. A scary situation bearing down on the Glengarry and Growan opal mining communities northwest of Walgett. Staring them in the face is the large wall of smoke billowing into the sky. This was last night, a terrifying red glow behind houses, while some residents evacuated to Lightning Ridge. Those who stayed behind to protect their properties kept an anxious vigil on the blaze. The Hudson fire has burnt more than 20,000 hectares of land, leaving the mark of ash stained across the countryside.
It was pretty bad out there. We did lose a couple of structures out there.
How much damage is unknown, prompting building assessment teams to be called in. So too support from Dubbo, Coolah, Coonamble and Gulgong fire and rescue crews. At Walgett Airport today, a fleet of water-bombing aircraft were primed to head to the fire ground as southwesterly winds and high temperatures pushed the fire further towards Growan.
Unfortunately, what we've seen in the last few days is the fire tends to spot quite rapidly because the fuel's so dry out there and with the wind picking up.
Conditions to make it another stressful night for firefighters on the ground. Hamish Southwell, 7 News.
Funding for the Great Western Highway upgrade has been axed by the federal government after a review of major projects. We go now to Ruben Spargo. And Ruben, what more do we know?
More than a dozen projects across the state will be stripped of funding following an overhaul of federal spending. According to this review, a number of projects do not demonstrate merit, lack any national strategic rationale, and do not meet the government's investment priorities. A multi-billion-dollar upgrade of the Great Western Highway through the Blue Mountains is among the biggest projects to lose support. Ron Finnimore Transport's executive chairman has told 7 News this is a major blow for commuter safety and for those in Australia's food basket.
The goods they produce, the principal volume goes into the metropolitan Sydney, where the population is, and the roads are inadequate for that today, let alone any growth.
We've reached out to the state government about what this means for their support of the broader project to better connect our region to the coast.
OK, thanks for the update, Ruben. That's Ruben Spargo reporting for us tonight.
1 year on from the devastating floods that washed through town, Forbes is still on the mend. Some of the impacted businesses are now back up and running, but the memories are still fresh.
Streets submerged by toxic floodwaters, rescue boats collecting stranded residents, the scale of the damage unfathomable. Waste lining the streets, the financial toll still felt 1 year later.
Just a huge job, so many trades involved. So obviously that comes with money and equipment being replaced.
It was sort of lost a trade through that flood, and it takes a long time for that to build back up to where it was.
Local cafe Silo opened last July in a heritage building dating back to 1892. Due to the scale of repairs, they were only able to reopen 3 weeks ago.
We got water through the building. We have a massive basement downstairs, so obviously that filled. And then we got about a metre of water on the cafe level as well.
For owner of the local Mitre 10, Aaron Aitchison, it's also been a long road to recovery.
Yabbies and all sorts of things floating through, so yeah, a lot of mud. It sort of ripped through the garden centre, so it sort of tore up all the ground out there.
A road that doesn't come without its downs.
Is it worth it? But it is. It's always worth it.
If you sort of sit there and suffer in silence, no one's going to sort of know that you're under pain or suffering, so you've got to put your hand up and ask for help.
Both businesses glad to be on their way back to solid ground. Charlotte Wallen, 7 News.
Orange City Council will decide if they should push ahead with a proposal to open up our skies to more routes. Supporters say the expansion could propel more people to the area for work and for pleasure.
Touching down from Melbourne and Sydney, passengers were returning home, visiting or here to work, and they could soon be flying in from a different direction.
I think it's probably a little overdue, to be honest. The link between Newcastle and Orange is critical.
A push for the route to be added is gaining speed, but whether Orange Council wants to see the proposal take off will be considered at the next meeting.
Encouraging Council to take the front foot and look at opening up other opportunities for connection from Orange to other regional centres.
For our local hospitality industry, it's all about getting more bodies in seats and making the commute easier than a 5-hour drive, or while Newcastle opens up its international runway to the world.
You've got medical, you've got mining, you've got wine. Associations, they're all linked, so the amount of corporate activity, which we're already experiencing in our hotels alone, it's a needed link.
We're told meetings between Business Orange and 2 separate airlines have been held, and they're now keen to know preferred travel times and potential customer numbers, questions which Jack Evans hopes Council can provide the answers to.
We've worked for maybe 2 years now, having the right conversations and building the right relationships to get to this point.
The airport currently boasts regular trips to and from Sydney, Melbourne and Brisbane across 3 different airlines. During the last financial year, over 91,000 travellers used this service, and there could soon be more.
With the recent interest from Bathurst Council in using Orange as more of a regional hub, we thought now's the correct time to bring this conversation to the public forum.
Ruben Spargo, 7 News.
The new owners of Cadia Gold Mine will be making changes to staffing. Newmont said a review of the way work is done for the tailings project has prompted the operating model to be altered. The site already uses contract workers, and those numbers fluctuate depending on project requirements. Newmont has told 7 News the company is supporting people through the changes, including looking at redeployment opportunities within the business.
7 News can tonight reveal in just a matter of days the compulsory land acquisition process will begin to cater for the Central West Renewable Energy Zone. The action arriving before the project's environmental impact statement is fully assessed, or while the state government looks to accelerate development approvals.
The project's already knocking on the doors of Central West properties. And now the approval process for wind, solar and transmission infrastructure could be accelerated.
I can't say I'm surprised, but I'm pretty disappointed that they're going to push it through even faster than they're trying at the moment.
The state government releasing new draft guidelines to promote faster decisions on renewable energy projects, including allowing the minister to consider requests to declare solar energy developments as critical state significant infrastructure if it includes a significant energy storage system, for example, a delivery capacity of 750 megawatts or more. The Energy Minister says she wants communities and industry to provide feedback so they can crack on with delivering the renewable energy New South Wales needs.
I mean, you look at the maps of where the desired locations for solar and wind are in that draft energy guideline framework, and it's New South Wales and probably Australia's food bowl. Like, I think that's scary for agriculture. It
coincides with letters obtained by 7 News which were handed to local landholders. The document outlining Energy Co's plans to begin the compulsory acquisition process of land for the Central West Renewable Energy Zone transmission infrastructure. The letter arriving the day of submissions closing for the project's environmental impact statement.
There's been no substantive change in the route, and then they're always sitting there with compulsory acquisition with the big stick anyway.
Hamish Southwell, 7 News.
Well, Kirsty is here now for a look at how today's weather shaped up. And Kirsty, we did see a little bit of cloud about today.
It was quite an overcast afternoon, Nick and Maddie. Hello to you both. Hello, everyone. It was a lovely morning, though, for the Central West. Clear skies and mild temperatures ranging from the mid-20s into the low to mid-30s. Patches of clouds sweeping through the west around lunchtime. And, of course, we saw it overcast this afternoon. With a few late showers, there is a chance of a late storm too. In the west, our temperatures did remain in the 30s, but very windy weather. Fresh west to southwesterlies gusted up to more than 50 kilometres an hour in Coonamble. Bringing some cooler air into the region did mean we felt a little bit of a reprieve from that hot 34 degrees. Today's hot conditions also influencing a higher fire danger rating across the region and that total fire ban for the upper Central West Plains that remains in place until midnight. The Hudson Fire burning northwest of Walgett at Watch and Act today. Clear tonight, and for tomorrow, temperatures still warming up for the weekend. I'll have the details soon.
Thanks, Kirsty. See you in a couple of minutes.
Up next in 7 News, major HSE works music to the ears of those who get to experience them.
And some of the country's top rugby league talent will be converging on Bathurst.
And a little later on this news hour, a heated service station clash over tensions in the Middle East. Plus, fresh turbulence for the flying kangaroo, found guilty of unlawfully standing down a worker. And the Aussies prepare for tonight's Cricket World Cup semi-final. That is against South Africa. We'll see you soon.
Welcome back. The race to host next year's Koori Knockout has been run and won. Bathurst is now ready for the largest rugby league knockout in the Southern Hemisphere.
Let it rip, mate. The 2024 New South Wales Aboriginal Rugby League Knockout will be held here in Bathurst, New South Wales, from October 4 to October 7.
Bathurst edging out Dubbo and Wagga to host the largest gathering of Aboriginal people in the country.
You've got over 140 teams, nearly 30,000 people converging on the town.
Walgett Aboriginal Connection earned hosting rights when they took out this year's grand final, but the smaller community isn't able to cater to the sheer size of the event. The connection between Walgett and Bathurst families playing a part in the decision.
There's been a lot of families have relocated to the Bathurst region, the Kennedys, the Sharpleys, the Dennises, the Roses, we've all come here and, all these families have had a major impact on the town and the community here.
For South Sydney gun Cody Walker, he's keen for a return to Bathurst. He enjoyed his first Koori Knockout victory in 2011, the last time it was held here.
Gets the strip and he's still going, Cody Walker gets around the defence and he scores a great first try in the knockout grand final for 2011.
Hopefully it's a bit of an omen there and we can have a Bunjalung win in 2024.
Walker knows with the amount of talented players lining up in the knockout, another title won't be easy. But he's happy to take on whatever the opposition throws at him.
I love that challenge of playing against, sides that are stacked, sides that, have that, I suppose, that friendly rivalry.
Another NRL player and Wellington product is keen to provide that test.
I'll play for Nenema, Wello team, so that's the team I grew up with, and yeah, I'll play with them for sure.
The Koori Knockout will be played on the October long weekend next year. Michelle Cook, 7 News.
Efforts to boost literacy across the Forbes community are taking shape. After a 4-year hiatus, the town's reading day is making a comeback. Families with children under kindergarten age are invited to read books together in Nelson Park. The aim to kickstart their academic journey early.
Reading to children right from birth will expose them to the world of literacy, and as we move more towards a digital age, everything's becoming very literate and very visual.
The free event will run from 9:30 tomorrow morning with everyone welcome.
The talents of local HSE students are on display in Orange with woodwork and fine art projects in the spotlight. But community members are singing the praises of one particular student, stunning the crowd with something truly unique.
The
This electric guitar, fully crafted by James Sheehan student Declan Wells, wood sourced locally, a final product that could be sold for thousands, and the musical skills to do it justice.
My granddad got me into woodwork, and then I play guitar, so I was obviously interested in it. And I've watched other people make one, and I've always, since year 7, wanted to make one for my HSC.
Declan dedicated more than 200 hours to perfecting the instrument, working during lunch breaks and after school.
It's based off a 1960s thin line Telecaster, but I've modified it.
The project, one of James Sheehan's major works, nominated for a prestigious exhibition.
This year we've had 10 nominations for Shape. Shape is a display last year held at the Powerhouse Museum in Sydney. It's usually projects that have shown to be high skill level.
But for Declan, this hasn't been the highlight. Instead, it's been something quite different.
Definitely spraying it, because you've done all the hard work of cutting and sanding and shaping it, and when you finally sand it and finish it, and you can see the gloss on it, looks really good.
In the last few years, the nominations have been coming through, so I think now they're realising that, country kids are very, competent, and then they can produce amazing pieces of work.
A legacy to keep building on. Charlotte Wallen, 7 News.
Still to come in 7 News, a gravitational pull for a mountain biking event in the region is expected to be strong.
And Orange is producing some of the best, both on and off the women's rugby field.
Tomorrow on Sunrise, the new schoolies trend. Meet the parents partying it up with their teens, where mum and dad are joining in for the wildest week of their kids' lives.
Plus, join hundreds of Sunrise viewers and be our guest for an exclusive performance from Beauty and the Beast.
See you in the morning.
Welcome back. There's no doubt women's sport is booming right across the country, and Orange is now playing an important role in the growth of rugby union.
On the field, Tabua Tuanekavadra is carving up for the Wallaroos, and helping her to achieve that is a fellow Orange Emus product. Amanda Ferguson keeping busy as the Australian women's team manager.
To be able to support those players to get out there and do the best that they can for our country.
And it's a dream come true.
It's great to be in a job where you're doing something that you love and you're passionate about, and it's nice that I can actually give back to the game that has given me so much love over the years.
Of course, there's the excitement of being able to link up with a familiar face.
It's nice to see another Emu girl there as a Wallaroo to join Alana in that stat, too.
While the manager is working behind the scenes, the players are always thinking about securing their spot in the national squad.
I think once you're in it, you can't not stop thinking about it. Obviously, it's just step by step, but once one thing's finished, there's always another thing to keep going for. So.
Right now for Tabua, that's hitting pre-season training with the Brumbies for Super W and retaining her position.
And hopefully going one better in the finals and making it to the grand final, winning the semis next year.
Ferguson pulled on the boots at the Toothy Tens at Endeavour Oval, spruiking the success Central West products are enjoying on sporting fields across the world.
Like you say, women's sport as a whole is growing so much, like the cricketers. How good's that? Like young Phoebe from Orange. I think Orange can say that we do breed some really good sports people.
Michelle Cook, 7 News.
At least 3 events in last night's Bathurst harness racing meeting went right down to the wire. But it was the Lion Nathan Pace that delivered the tightest result. Flying Colours looked the goods from the start. The $2.50 favourite taking the lead early and holding it before it started to pull away as the field headed into the final turn. But an attack came from more than one runner. Tulhurst Terror moving up on the outside as Sargent closed the gap on the left.
Flying Colours on tired legs. Tulhurst Terror's powering home with also Sargent. They're going to hit the line together. Oh, this is really close.
Tulhurst Terror took the win by half a head from Flying Colours. Phoebe Betts guiding the gelding to claim more than $5,000 in prize money for trainer Nathan Hurst. The classroom will be heading outdoors tomorrow for the Rocky Trail Academy. The Central West Schools mountain bike event will be hitting the tracks at Glenwood State Forest. The ride is designed to foster the grassroots development of the sport by welcoming students of all levels of experience. Competition will then heat up on the weekend when elite riders line up in the Fox Superflow Gravity Enduro. It's the very first time the event has been held in Orange. Up next in 7 News, Kirsty's got your local weather. Stick around, that's next.
Welcome back, everyone. A trough lying between the northern inland and the coast is generating some showers and thunderstorm activity. This will link up with southerly winds along the eastern seaboard while conditions remain calm and settled for inland New South Wales. But a trough over Queensland we can see will gain strength into early next week, bringing rainfall to much of New South Wales from Sunday. The heaviest showers are currently forecast along the Queensland border region. The Central West, though, can expect around 40 to 70 millimetres over the coming week, possibly heavier showers if thunderstorms develop. Excuse me. First, let's take a look to see what's in store for the end of our working week tomorrow, and we'll see the continuation of mostly clear skies with our maximums in the west reaching the low 30s, around 2 to 3 degrees cooler than today in the east, around the low to mid 20s. We could also see some late showers and possible storms with breezy southwesterly winds around. It does look to warm up further into Saturday, though, with top of 30 degrees on the forecast for Coonabarabran, Condobolin 33 under sunny skies. Gustier northeasterly winds around, but we will see that fire danger rating across the entire Central West return to a moderate region. Storms are possible in the north in the afternoon. There is about a 30% chance of a light shower, but it's really into Sunday when we'll see that high chance of wet weather. Dubbo could see about 6 millimetres of rain, and parts of the afternoon and evening could deliver a risk of severe thunderstorms developing. For the east, we're not expecting those storms just yet. Currently partly cloudy conditions, remaining drier but with a light breeze around. If we look now to the next 7 days, well, heavier showers are well and truly forecast through Monday, up to 25 millimetres in Dubbo, up to 20 millimetres from Orange, and the wet weather continuing into early next week. Plenty of rainfall on the horizon. We certainly need it. It's very welcome, but it does follow quite a dry and warm weekend first.
Yeah, nice weekend to come. Looking forward to that rain too. Thanks, Kirsty. See you later.
And that is your local news for tonight. Thanks for watching. You can catch up on our website or at 7plus.
Right now, though, Dan has your national news. Have a lovely night. See you again tomorrow night from 6 o'clock. We'll see you then.